let you know that you don't have to be afraid, because if you know that you know that you know that the power of God, what we call God, energy, source, creator, universe, whatever, that power is within you, and you don't have to be afraid. Now, we do have to get to know that power so that we won't be afraid or have that anxiety or be afraid for somebody else. Because when you're afraid for somebody else, that's because you are afraid. Because remember, you're looking at yourself. Okay. So as the people come in and it's just that being afraid is something that we don't have to deal with, even though it's going to come now, and you just have to face it. And that's it. Just face it. Oh, you're here. Boom. Next. That's it. So I'm going to be taking this from Psychology Today. And it's going to be something good. You know, it's always good when it's coming from within. Anything is good that's coming from within, as long as you know who you are and you're positive. Okay, because some negative stuff could come from within too. And that's on the other side. That's the down, that's in the lower frequency. But we want to stay in a higher frequency. Okay. And what I mean by that is that it's one power, lower frequency, in the middle, and above. Okay. So you want to stay above. And how you do that is positivity. And you stay connected to that frequency, because that's what's going to keep you going. That's what's going, when something comes up, you'll be able to move from it, or just say, you know what, and keep it moving. The power of energy, the force that's within you, because it could be like this. Well, you know, I could be talking to y'all like this. Well, how to stop being afraid, start feeling powerful. Now, you know, you ain't going to feel that, because the person that's giving it to you is not powerful. So how are you going to feel it? How to stop being afraid, start feeling powerful and alive. Now that you can feel, because I know, because I've been through all of this stuff, and you have too. And I've been through it where I didn't know how to stop it. It just kept coming, but I didn't know how to stop it, or just walk away from it, or just, you know, just look at it. You know, I didn't know what to do, but now I do. So now I can move forward, and you can too. So, oh, that's a little rhyme. Now I'm taking this from Psychology Today, and I'm going to put my little spiel in it. This is for entertainment purposes only. So, and it's not, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. And let me cut my phone off, because I know some people are going to be calling. And I'm not a doctor. I'm just here to entertain you and to let you know some of the things that I've been through. And you can go within yourself and you know, and ask yourself what to do. Don't just be looking at me. Now you got to go into yourself and ask yourself, what should I do? So always never look at that person. Always listen, and then go to yourself and ask yourself. And then yourself, which is the power in you, is going to give you the direction and where you need to go, because that's the God in you. A lot of people don't believe that, but you can stay going in that circle. But I know it helped me to know who I am, and to know that the power, because even Jesus said, it is he that is within me. So Jesus is within you. But a lot of people think he out here and he coming down, and no, he's inside. Jesus is above, and as above, so below. Man, y'all better get this. But here we go. Okay. Now, this is from Psychology Today. To me, being rich is not about money. It's about living with less fear. Now, let me explain. We all have fear. If we didn't feel fear, we wouldn't be alive. But there's a big difference between having fear and being driven by your fear. Most people are driven by their fears, leading them to make or avoid making particular decisions that pull them down a dark, sticky, dead end road. Most of my life, I rode a shotgun while my fears sat behind the wheel, steering me through life. That's everybody. I mean, we all do that. I have fear of poverty, fear of not being accepted, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of abandonment. My relationship with my fear caused me to be a beta vision of myself. I maneuvered at a very low frequency, and as a result, learned that people don't really want to be around that. My feet were not planted in a particular stance. So I pretended I scrambled. I let my fear inflate my insecurity and anxiety. Now they wrote this, but they're talking about me. Now, this is coming from Psychology Today, but a lot of us have been through that, feeling abandonment, feeling that people don't care, feeling that I don't know if I should do this. I don't know what it's like. I think I'm sick. I can't believe I got a cold. I got COVID. I got all this stuff. You don't have any of that. It's you only have it if you believe and it comes within you in your energy, and then you have it. Now, I'm not saying it's not real. It's only real when you bring it to life. Because none of this stuff exists, but it's only when you bring it to life because of fear. And a lot of things work on fear to get you where you need to be for them, okay? But you work on the power and the energy and the power of God that is within you, because all these years we've always thought that the power was out here. And they want you, they want you to think the power is out there. They do. And you know who they is. They is the one that's always saying, you remember they told me, that's they. They want you to have the power out here. But the power is in here, the inner you, okay? And so when you have that power in you, then you're going to listen to the power that is within you, which is the power of what we call God. That's in us, okay? That's the truth. That's the facts. That's the real. That's the inside of you. That's reality on the inside. Because all this out here, remember, is an image. Okay, this is an image. An image. This is an image. The real food is what I'm telling you now. This is the food just for the body, which is an image as well. Okay, and this too, y'all see what I'm eating. but that's what it is. So. Part one, here we go. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. You will always have fears, but when you get to a place where you are no longer driven by them, something magical happens, okay? You become rich. You are in touch with your value. You feel powerful, alive, and worthy. That's what I just told both of my daughters today. You are worthy, okay? That's the money right there. Because when you have that, you can go out and get all of the things out here when you have it in here. Okay, I hope you get that. Anxiety lessens and potential increases, which means the chances of you also gaining financial traction increases as well as things fall into place. You become very potent. Are you driven by fears? Ask yourself that. Are they stopping you from doing what you want to or being who you want to be? There it is. Are they stopping you from doing what you want or being who you want to be? The first step is owning your fears and then identifying them. Then, of course, the question becomes, how do I get rid of these fears? Well, for starters, here's some tips, and I'm going to give you these tips, and I'm going to add my little piece. Notice your fears. Everything starts with awareness. Think about all the fears that are stopping you from being happy. Just observe them. This process is actually incredibly freeing. So when something comes up, start noticing the fear. Like if you have a fear of going somewhere, notice it. Become aware of it. Okay, now I notice that I have a fear of going somewhere by myself. Notice it. Then what? Because a lot of us, we don't notice it. We just do it. I'm not going by myself. Somebody gonna go with me. But we do that. But we have to stop and notice it. Once you do that, you notice it, recognize that your fears, despite seeming very powerful, are not concrete walls. They can be dismantled and less powerful than you think. So it's just invisible. It doesn't exist. We just think that we can't go anywhere. We can't be around these people. We can't go to the gym by ourselves. We can't go to the movies by ourselves. We can't do the things that we need. We can't start a business by ourselves. We can start the business by ourselves. Then you can hire other people. But we think we can't. And I say we because that was me. We was me. So we think we can't. So what we have to do is notice that it's like this. This is invisible. This right here, that's an image. It's still invisible, but I created this when I bought it. And whoever created it put it there for me to buy it. So this is an image, but this, nothing exists. So I can say this because this somebody created this from within. They created this. That's it. And even the water in here doesn't exist. Because if you haven't noticed, put some, I want you to try this if you will. Put some water in a cup and let it sit there. Watch it go away. Because it doesn't exist. Man, it's going to take a minute, but it's going to go away. And you know where it goes? It goes into this water. Because all this is water. You can feel it when you do this, but you can't see it because it's clear. It doesn't exist. But that's the power. That's the power right there. You can feel it. So I'm demonstrating that so you can know that this is very powerful. And only you can make this alive and call it whatever you want it to be called. You can call it pain. You can call it stress. You can call it anxiety, fear, all of the things that you can call it, but it doesn't exist. Okay? Once you get into yourself, within yourself, you will know because that power in you is going to teach you. How can you hear without a preacher? The preacher is within you. The church made without hands. Okay, so, whew, that's deep. But I'm telling you, and I got the fan on because you know when I start talking all that sweat and I be just sweaty and greasy. But I'm telling you, that's it. So once you do that, then you're good. Admit that you are afraid of particular things. Just admit it. Just like I was telling someone the other day that they were, sometimes you get off track. And so I'll call the certain person and ask them questions, and then they'll put me back on track. Because everybody get off track. Just because you get off track, it's not like, oh, see, I told you. You get off track. So what you do, you call people you trust to put you back on track. Because there's so much going on within and out here that you're trying to stay within, but you got out here to pull you out here, but you want to go back within, and then you get stuck because you got stuff out here saying things, then you question yourself, then you want to run back within, so you go back within and you stay in, and then you're going to come back out, and you're going to go back in, you're going to come back out, because you have to get this on the inside so you can go out and stand on the outside. And that way you won't go back and forth. But this is all a growing thing. It doesn't just happen like that. You don't do that. You grow with it. Because just like when I met Mr. Gear, Mr. Charles Gear, the #1 man in the music industry, that it is very hard for people to get to him. And this was back in the day and now. And so, Mr. Gear, when I first met Mr. Gear, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do. Mr. Gear is the wisdom, old school. He had to get to know you to make sure there wasn't no crooked stuff going on. So if you're connected to Mr. Gear and he give you different things, then you're in there because that's how he is. He's the type of person that's with integrity and all of that. And he has a lot of resources. So what you do, you just be around him. And if you want to be around him and you grow, then you'll grow with his wisdom. Because I have his gold plaques right here. And I have it in the studio. That's because I grew with him and he signed them. And you don't do that. You don't just give your gold stuff away to somebody that you don't know. So there's a lot of respect. And I earned that from him because I go, I'm around him. I help him. We go out to eat. I take him places. I do things. I mean, it's a lot of things that you do. And not saying you do it just to get there, because I didn't. It just happened. And just he's in the music industry. So, so that's how things happen inside. So once you get to know you on the inside, you begin to grow with you. And then you allow you to take over and then your life will start growing. Okay. But when you don't know that, we everywhere. Because I know, it's just like a baby. When a baby has no fear. They'll go touch the everything. They'll touch the iron, and you have to say, stop, don't touch that. And then you put that fear in them and they won't touch it. So fear is a good thing, but it's for certain things. You use it, but don't abuse it. So if a baby, because the babies are so, they just pure, they just touching stuff, pulling stuff down, and you just have to guide them. That's what Jesus is on the inside of you. He have to guide us. Man, y'all get this. He has to guide us, the power of God within us. That's the energy, the power of the spirit man. That's within you and within me. It has to guide us, because I know me, I'm just pulling down stuff and see, like now, just knock the stuff all over everywhere. Now I got to pick it up. But, things like that. That's what we do as people. So we knock things down. But as we begin to grow, we don't knock it down. We still may peep over there and touch it a little bit, but we're not going to, go and just bam, just touch a hot iron. Even with me growing up, I used to do like that, just crazy stuff. Even now, I probably do it, just touch the iron like that. And we do that just to see if it's hot, but you shouldn't. You should know it's hot if you see the steam and stuff coming out. But that's just something that I always do, touch stuff. Just my mama used to always say, "You so contrary." So I don't even know what that means, but that was she used to say. So I'm saying that because that's what we do as people. And once we start growing, we become the spirit man, and we allow the spirit man to take over. That's when all the things start happening good. It's going to happen anyway because the power takes over. Now, when you get in something and it's not your time, that power comes and takes over, just like in an accident. I know you felt that when you're about to get in an accident and something just coming. That's the energy, the power that's within you. So admit that you're afraid. Many people know that they are afraid of, but won't admit it, especially to themselves. Many people know what they're afraid of, but won't admit it, especially to themselves. Especially this resistance will only give the fear more power. Read that again because I botched that up. Many people know what they are afraid of, but won't admit it, especially to themselves. This resistance will only give the fear more power. Denial means you're running instead of facing. Only when you admit what you are afraid of can you start dissolving your fears. Just admit it. I'm afraid of this, but we won't do it. Just admit it. That's all. Ain't nobody there it doesn't even exist. So just admit, I'm afraid of this. And then what you do, just bust through it just like that. Because when I get ready to sing, I'm afraid, I'm nervous, I'm T-star jittering, got to go to the bathroom. I mean, I'm for real. I got to go to the bathroom. I mean, I don't know what's going on. So what I have to do, I do go to the bathroom. And then I'll just come out and just boom, I'll bust into the song. And then that spirit rise up and takes over. And it's not me that's singing, And so it's the power that's within me. And so that's how the power sings so well, so perfect, so good, on the same frequency. Every note is on the beautiful frequency. And it's not me, it's the power that's within me. But a lot of artists say, oh yeah, I sung this. I don't, because I know it's not me. I know that this body here, this is flesh. I know that it's the spirit that is within me, that energy, that spirit man that's singing. That's God. And so I know that. And so when I allow that to happen, because it's your choice, I don't have to sing. It's my choice. But I choose to sing because it makes me feel good with that energy that's within me. I'm not afraid anymore. But I do get that little tad bit when it's time for me to sing. Then once I bust in it, that's it. The power takes over. Decide you're sick of fear. You're just sick of it. I'm tired. I'm tired of being fearful. Be fearless. Many therapists will try to encourage you to explore what your fears are coming from. It's true. They started somewhere depending on your story. Often they will ask questions intended to help you follow the fears all the way to its roots as a way to process it. Indeed, there is a therapeutic process to overcoming your fears, which requires this kind of coaching. Okay. But it says here, but you know what? At some point, you just have to make a choice to not be afraid anymore. So just choose not to be afraid. So anything that you're afraid of, just bust through it and watch what happens. At some point, you have to decide to enter the arena. Yes, you can actually choose to be less afraid. No, this doesn't mean your fear is just going to go away, but it will move the ball. It will create a shift. Examine what you fear, examine where your fears are taking you in your life, and make a decision not to no longer allow those fears to drive your life. So don't allow the fears to take over. Just face it, because they don't exist. Fears do not exist. It only exists when you make it come to life. They're there. They're there, but they don't exist until you bring it to life. So if a fear comes, just break through it. It's there. What is it going to do to you? You're going to do stuff to you. You're going to be so afraid, you're going to hurt yourself. And fear is good too. As I stated before, it could be somebody upstairs right now making some noise. Where he at? I'm going to kill him when I see him. If he ain't here, if that's going on and you upstairs and nobody knows it, I just ease right out here, because the fear helped me to get out of here. Go right through that door over there and get out of here. And then I'll go and do what I need to do to come back with whoever. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody is in my place. You get what I'm saying? So never let someone get in your place, which is the fear. Don't let the fear get in your space, because they'll take over your place. And then you'll be out of the race. But don't do that. So what you can do when fear comes in a good way, you just slip on out. But when it comes, when it's abusing you, then you stand up to it, like anxiety. Fear not, for I am with you always. That's what the Bible says. I'm telling you, that's it. So all you have to do is just do that and just become aware of all the things in your life. Make sure that you know what you know. And you have to study to show yourself approved for these things. You approve it. I'm not afraid anymore. That's your approval. I'm not doing it anymore. That's your approval. And the only way you got that, because you took the test and it's approved, and you studied to show yourself approved. So it's done. So if you study a lot of positive things, not just the Bible, but if you study a lot of positive things, look up the things in the Bible. The Bible is spiritual. So don't take it literally. A lot of people take it literally and then they get confused, but it is spiritual. You must worship in spirit and in truth. Stop looking at the Bible as literally what it's saying, because it's not saying what it's saying. It's saying what you're saying from within, and the spirit will give the utterance. The power that's within you will explain it to you, because a lot of people are going to look at it for what it is, because they have a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. The power is spiritual. You can't have no power in the flesh, because it doesn't exist. They can make you think that they have power in the flesh, but it doesn't exist. All the power and the reality is within you. And you want to know how to go within you? Get to know you. Meditate. Stop all this foolishness out here. Stop listening for a minute. Cut your phone off. Take some time out for yourself to deal with yourself. Get away from people. Go in a safe place within yourself, in your own closet. Cut all this stuff off. You can put it back on after that, but turn it off. Like Teddy said, turn it off. That's all you got to do is turn it off. And when you turn it off, then you'll be able to listen within. Get in a nice, quiet place. Like nobody's here right now. So I can shut everything down. People gonna get mad at you. Why you didn't pick up your phone? I know you was right there. You was right there looking at it. Shut up and let me do what I need to do for me. You don't tell them that, but you just ignore all of that distraction because that's what's going to happen. You didn't call me. Why? You mad at me? All of these things are going to happen to stop you from doing what you want to do for you. That's a fear because you're afraid that if you cut everything off, then somebody may call. You may get an important phone call, or somebody in your family may call. Somebody may be sick. Somebody, just let it all go and just focus on you just for an hour, 15 minutes. That's it. You could do this 15 minutes a day to start. 5 minutes. Just sit back and let's do our little breathing again. We should do that every day for at least 5 minutes. Just take a breather. We can do everything else but do things for ourselves. Do something for you. Do something for God that's within you. Many days we just go, we don't breathe, don't do nothing. Don't even think the stuff that God has in our body. We always say, oh God, thank you. Thank you for something that we just got that doesn't even exist, like a new car. That's something that man created for us to have, but it really doesn't exist because once they created, you went and got it. So you created it, and so you're living in that image and you're driving it into air. But because you bought it and you created it, that's just how powerful God is. So he'll allow you to enjoy it because you can enjoy it. But all you have to do is just step back and just give yourself some honor and glory, which is within you, and that's the power of God. Because a lot of us don't know that. A lot of us don't know that the power of God lives in us. We say it, and we still just do whatever we want to do. But that power is in you. Your heart is beating. Your lungs are functioning, what they call it. But it's really the energy inside of you that doesn't even exist inside of you, but it's there because that's where God put it. That's how he made it, and that's how it is. And no man can cut that or take it away from you. No doctor, nobody, because that's the power that's within you. It's the frequency, like you looking at me. That's God, the frequency. That's the power. So don't be afraid. Just know that you have that power in you. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil, for thou art with you. He's with you inside of you. He's telling us that. but we still be afraid. So just know that the fear will come, but just overlook it, overtake it, stand up to it. You don't have to be mean, but just stand up. It's coming, it's there. Okay, that's it. And keep it moving. And watch all that. If you don't give it the power, it's going to go down. But if you give it the power, then you're going to be afraid, crying, upset. And that's good to cry. That's good to cry when you're upset too, though, because that's going to heal you too. So it all works together for the good that are called according to his purpose. So if you crying, that's a purpose. If you're afraid, that's a purpose. So when you cry, that's healing. It all works together. Or just face it. That's it. Maybe you need to cry, just like I said the other day. A lot of us need to cry. I cried the other day because I felt good. I'm like, well, why am I even crying? And then I just talked about it. That's because that's healing. So it's up to you. I'm just giving it to you like it's given to me, and it goes back to you. Don't look at me because I'm liable to do just, like the other day, I was frustrated about something. So I had to call, as I stated, to get some help again, because I got in some kind of, I don't know what was going on, but I did it and I faced it. And I had people around me to put me back on track. So don't get upset when somebody tell you, now you shouldn't do this. You should be doing such and such. Don't come back at them. Just listen. And then you make your decision. So I listened and I made my decision. That's right. That's the truth. And you'll know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. It's all in the Bible, but it's spiritual. All right, y'all. So please, I'm going to say this all the time. donate so I can help these special needs kids. School is getting ready to start. And I need to have help. Just help, help, help. Don't help me, help them. And I will show you what I got. I'll come back on here and say, this is it. And I'm going to give it to this person. That's an elderly person or a special needs child or whoever is afraid or being abused or something and they don't have proof. Because a lot of people are being abused and then sometimes the officer say, oh, yeah, that happens all the time. But you'll have that little pen smiling or something in your hair, and then be taking the recordings. That's it. All right, so this is Ron Anthony. Thank you. Please, please, please remember, don't be afraid. Fear is going to come. Face it. And how you face it, you go back within yourself. You take some time out for yourself. Take at least, you know what? Just when you get off of this, watching me, just take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to start. Cut everything off. Cut your phone off. Cut everything off. And just sit there and take some deep breaths. Just like this. I'm going to show you. You take it in and you're going to hold it for 10 seconds. Then you release. Just like this. And you let it out and you'll feel that energy. I'm telling you, do this all the time, but start out with 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Take some time out for yourself. If you're busy and not thinking about yourself, then just take 2 minutes. But if you really think about yourself, take the 5 minutes and keep growing.